79 Films presents David McRae's Halloween, The Night He Came Back. Oh, now David McRae's taking credit for a Halloween. We start with a fire homage that plays off the end of the real Halloween 2. My collection of Molotov cocktails. Oh, the room's on fire again. Where's the extinguisher? Now back in present day, we focus on this cop who's looking quite worried as he listens to the local Haddonfield morning radio show. What does morning radio look like in Haddonfield?
Good morning, Haddonfield. Today is Halloween, and we're asking you to call in and answer this question right here. Listen close. If Michael Myers were a Halloween candy, what type would he be? Now, the best answer is going to score an all-expenses-paid trip to see Ariana Grande. And hey, coming up after the break, Dead and Gone by T.I. and Justin Timberlake. That does not seem appropriate, but well, let's go with it.
The main girl in this film wants to be an actress, just like her hero, Jamie Lee Curtis. But she must not be a good actress because she's already bombed this audition.
I think I did terrible. I had to do my best scream, and I just don't think I was feeling it.
And she might not be too bright because she's making this phone call to her brother while in the men's room.
You know you're in the men's room, right?
So she leaves Hollywood to go back home, where, wouldn't you know, she happens to be the one currently living in the Myers home. And since she's such a big Jamie Lee Curtis superfan, Michael makes sure to do all the Laurie Strode stuff for her.
You know, since she loves Jamie Lee Curtis, I wonder if she'd like to reenact some scenes from Freaky Friday.
Why don't we
Yes, a jolt! Go!
At home, she realizes that she left the door wide open. Her brother is just happy to have her back in Haddonfield, but she'd rather be back in LA.
Well, you know, I don't hate it here. I just really want to move to LA.
He says, hey, at least Haddonfield is closer than Maine.
Haddonfield is closer to LA than Maine. You could always think of it as a pit stop.
Yeah, but in Maine, I don't have a problem of looking out my window and seeing Michael. Hey, is that Michael? Well, he is supposed to be here for that interview I'm having with him. So this girl declines the idea of watching an old horror DVD with her brother.
I have some old horror movies on DVD I could bring over.
You know I hate horror movies.
And this brother is incredibly jaded. He gives no craps that his sister was stalked by a masked man.
Was that you following me in the mask?
Someone was following you home in a mask?
Yeah, there was someone watching me on my way home today.
Nah, I wouldn't worry about it. This town gets weird on Halloween.
And doesn't get why Haddonfield is weird at Halloween time. I'm gonna take it the brother isn't a local. So now we'll meet up with this heavily tattooed guy who's a friend of the brother's. And he's gonna borrow some old DVDs. Hey, I used to have that DVD. That's the one that Freddy dropped on my head in my Drake and Josh parody.
What the hell, Freddy?
Which I will link to you in the description because you have to go off-site. Tattoo guy notices that Michael's watching him, and he gives props to the costume.
Dude, that's an awesome costume.
Michael don't need your compliments. Michael knows he's great. The cops, meanwhile, aren't thrilled to answer distress calls because everything is Myers related in this town.
The problem is, though, they think every bump in the night, every shadow they see on the wall, every kid that happens to scream in the alley because some kid took their pillowcase full of all their candy, everything has to do with you-know-who.
If you hear a bump in the night, shadow, or a scream from a hallway, it was most likely caused by this man in a modified William Shatner mask. Who is Eli Manning?
No. I'd like to welcome you to the Jeopardy Comedy Hour.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, you know everything.
Michael Myers.
Exactly.
Michael stalks one of the random friends of the main girl. He's either stalking her or hoping that she invites him to come along to dinner. The other girl reveals to the audience that actor girl is now living in the Myers house.
I thought Bob was finally going to tell her, and that's why she moved there.
You're not talking about...
What do you think I'm talking about?
The girl who doesn't live in the Myers house does lock her doors. And you know what? That still didn't help her.
Hello.
Hey, random cop. How many good scares are you allowed on Halloween?
It's Halloween. Everyone's entitled to one good scare.
I said one good scare, not one good kill. And this poor couple was just enjoying their me time. But that just wasn't gonna work for Myers. And on top of that, he has the nerve to still use their washing machine. He even ignores the out of order warning. No wonder that thing's making a weird noise. He just wants to show Actor Girl the good job he's done cleaning her clothes. But she's way too standoffish. He'll settle for a good hug, but she rejects that as well. Then she stabs him in the neck, which only slows him down. A quick power nap and Michael is right back at it. So the cop from earlier, he shows up and fires away at Michael, saving our actress girl. But then he has to have a quip.
I was right. You can't kill the boogeyman.
So I kind of want him to die. Michael and our actress girl take this to the fire escape, and Michael goes full Chris Brown on her. And that leaves Louis C.K. Cop the opening he needs to finish off Michael.
Was that?
The boogeyman.
What does he want?
Real friendship.
You.
Halloween 2019 fan film from Hensley Productions. Not just a Hensley, Cale Hensley. A film starring Clay Hensley, which makes this a family affair. So on your bingo card, check off Haddonfield, check off Happens on Halloween. We meet Lori. Yeah, another Lori. And as you know, people named Lori always have low-key, uneventful Halloweens.
Hey, they've been begging me to go by Aunt Lori's house on our way out to trick-or-treat.
But little does Lori know, Michael Myers has escaped on American Idol.
Michael Myers escaped from Smith's Grove last night.
And this guy just can't believe it. Listen to the excitement in his voice.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Then we only have one order of business here, and that's to hunt this thing down.
Michael also has a sweet tooth, so he arrives to get some treats, but he gets ignored. And a lack of sugar in his system makes Mikey cranky enough to kill. She thinks she'll avoid him, but clearly her fresh, Swiffer-jetted floors are gonna be her downfall.
No!
Back at the police car, the cop says this.
I was worried something like this would happen. Of all nights, this is the night it escapes.
Oh, you knew he was gonna be back, but you're just now letting us know? Thanks, bro. Oh, and he was there. He saw Michael get taken in.
Sheriff's Department!
They arrive too late and find the body of Aunt Lori. You'll forever be in our Clemson orange hearts.
Get out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'm gonna slap you silly!
The other cop fires away at a fleeing Michael.
This is no man. Your bullet's not going to stop it.
In another house, we meet some of the other teens babysitting.
In the kitchen with a knife.
And this guy's clearly into watching kids.
I'm leaving here as a champion.
Whatever.
But we don't get to learn much about these teens, as Michael gets rid of them as quickly as possible. We know how this is going to turn out. The cops stumble onto both bodies. And then we're down to only one of the cops, and the cop gives this look like, "Bro, I can't believe you stabbed me." Who does that to someone?
Michael?
Yeah, it was Michael. Who did you think it was gonna be? Michael gets himself the upper hand, and gets a good stab jab in, but the cop breaks the hold with a devastating headbutt. The dying cop is able to fire off a shot at Michael before taking a longer nap on the ground. I'm too old for this shit cop has a look like, thanks, but I guess I'll die now. But Michael, he gets up like, who's got time to die? One day away from retirement cop is like, well, kamikaze? Kamikaze. Kaboom! The end. Our next film is called He Came Home. It starts off with an Alicia Silverstone-looking librarian going down Michael Myers Street. You know, that street where he likes to stand near bushes and wonder why nobody will talk to him? Sure, Horowitz goes home to cook in her underwear and send typo-filled text messages. Now that's a relatable character. As she walks by the kitchen window, she catches a glimpse of Michael. And he looks in the window like he's ordering from an ice cream truck. Suddenly, she notices that the door has started to open up. And this all is happening while sirens are blasting in the background. So she arms herself with 2 spoons, a fork, and a knife. A butter knife. And then drops her phone out the window.
Haddonfield Police.
But she's able to go outside to retrieve it. So really, at this point, she should just leave her house if she wants to have a chance of surviving. Well, with all those sirens going off, the police have to be doing something. That something is arresting a potential suspect. Jason's been framed! Does this look like a campground? Cher decides to go back into her house. So, you know what? Whatever happens next, she absolutely deserves. Hey, I mean, if you knee someone in the balls, don't be surprised if they snap your neck in defense. Well, I'll just drop her off at the recycling center on my way home. Our next film is Michael vs. Jason, Evil Emerges. In the woods, Jason sleeps, but possibly oversleeps, as when he wakes up, it's with the same panic that you do when your parents yell at you that you're gonna be late for the bus.
When I wake up in the morning and you got me started morning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I grab my books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus fly by.
Meanwhile, Michael Myers has been captured, and these people just want to experiment on him.
How's the prisoner?
He hasn't said a word or moved. He's just sitting in his cell doing nothing. We found him in someone's backyard. He was just standing there, and he let us turn him in.
You know, it's almost like Michael allowed himself to get caught. Michael is just an old man at this point. They don't even let him wear his mask. The man in charge wants Michael to wear it.
Put on the mask, Michael.
Michael looks at the guard like, wait, are you really just gonna hand me that mask? Bootleg Albert Wesker mocks Michael once he leaves the transport vehicle.
Laurie Strode. I know the mask calls to you, doesn't it, Michael?
Michael, in his spare time, must have learned some fight choreography. Wesker appears to be willing to sacrifice his own men, and wants them to hold their fire.
Hold your fire. Hold your fire.
Shoot him!
Hold your fire.
Michael throws one of the guards at them, and this allows him to get the upper hand. Who knew Michael had these kind of moves in him? This guy had a helmet on, so Michael has to stomp his brains out, snapping necks and cashing checks. With the guards around him all killed, Bootleg Wesker fires a few shots off before running into the woods. Michael gives chase, but he won't get to finish the job. Jason was also hanging around. And Wesker, he's gonna take a machete to the face and the stomach. Michael Myers looks on like, what the f***, bro? I called dibs. They stare each other down. Jason's like, dibs aren't even real. I don't even honor them. Michael and Jason then enter into a nice stab fest. Which then turns into Jason just kicking the ever-loving crap out of Michael. And Michael's like, blood turns me on. So Jason beats him more and brings him home to Mom. Eventually, Jason gets bored with beating up Michael Myers. So he heads off to figure out what his next move will be. But Myers won't die. Axe to the face, and more fighting. Then Michael snaps Jason's neck. The owner of this property shows up with some kids.
What are you freaks doing on my property?
But no matter what weapons they have, we know how this is gonna end. It was a decent team effort, but let's face it, they're not contenders. The one kid gives us some nice plumber's crack as he gets eviscerated. And this guy's like, oh, which pretty much sums this situation right up. So the unlikely tag team partners win the handicap match and then go back to brawling each other.
It's hammer time!
Jason cuts off Michael's hand, and the fight looks won by Jason.
You've made Mummy proud, Jason, but it's time to come home now.
Okay,
come home
Mama.
To Mommy and take a big rest.
Not the mama! Not the mama! Not the mama! Not the mama! Not the mama!
Or was it? Yeah, just like Freddy vs. Jason, we're not given a clear winner. You know, I never would have guessed. Not only are Haddonfield and Crystal Lake right near each other, but they're both located in South Australia. Blinky Production Inc. presents Myers, the Evil of Haddonfield. And we have ourselves a Loomis.
God damn you, Michael.
And it's back when Dr. Loomis was a practicing doctor. We find out that Dr. Loomis was pumping Myers full of drugs to try to get some answers out of him.
It's like his body is purposely refusing to respond.
But Myers reacted like your typical dog.
But he responds to basic commands, right?
Basic ones, yes.
Well, he's pretty good at fetch, and he's almost housebroken.
I'm actually stumped.
Back in real life, we join Loomis in the in-between period of Halloween 1 and 2, getting his information of what just happened from part 1, and heading to the hospital like part 2.
His daughter's body was just discovered.
Where?
Across the street from the Doyle residence.
God, how many bodies?
3, so far.
And the girl, the Strode girl?
She's fine. EMTs took her to the hospital. She'll be alright.
I doubt that.
And Michael is still lurking around. And the teens, they're still being pretty lighthearted. Like this guy who pretends stabs his ref girlfriend. And I'd stab ref girlfriend too if she tried to explain to me what is a catch and what isn't a catch. Has to make a football move my ass. He caught it. But luckily Loomis and the cops show up to stop her from getting killed.
Now, unless you want more innocent blood to spill, you'll help me find Michael Myers before he kills again. Hello?
Jesus! Oh, Michael, why are you doing that?
Let the girl go.
Truly making a difference. Oh, I would have never even have known. O.J. Simpson was a patient of Dr. Loomis's? Huh. I wonder what Dr. Loomis thought of the guy.
He's shown no violent tendencies since the murder, which is about the only positive thing we have right now.
Haddonfield having a murder happen in it? No famous person has ever murdered anyone in Haddonfield. Loomis realizes Michael planned all of this.
You don't want to be helped.
Loomis can't just kill Michael, because the cop is going to bring him in.
You pulled that trigger and I'll arrest you. You understand?
He won.
Which is exactly what Michael wanted to happen all along.
Why does nobody in this bloody town ever listen?
Doc, the idea of an undead killer who comes on Halloween, but not every Halloween, is a hard sell to the public. Michael's like, gotcha, bitch! Well, I can't go home yet. I still have even more Halloween fan films. I hope this has brightened up your Halloween season. Blinky Productions is back with Myers, the monster of Haddonfield. Dr. Loomis is greeted by Dr. Acula.
My name is Ranbir Sartain. I spoke with you on the phone.
Oh, yes, Dr. Sartain, please. Come in.
And Dr. Acula thinks he can help Loomis.
Is that so?
And during this heated conversation, we keep getting Saw-esque cutaways to victims. Loomis is sick of all these people wanting his advice now. Where were they when he was the laughingstock of Haddonfield?
Now they come to me, bright-eyed doctors fresh out of university, all chomping at the bit like I'm the gatekeeper to some great mystery that only they can solve.
Dr. Acula promises he's always been a fan.
Your work is ahead of its time. Everything that you've done was able to do with Michael...
Don't even say its name.
Meanwhile, this person who's been captured just wants their mama.
Where's Mama? Where's Mama?
No mama for you. He's not your mama! Yuck your mama! And instead of a frying pan hitting this guy in the head, he's just gonna get choked. And now a new victim arrives.
Hello?
The fascination I had with that thing died years ago.
Dr. Acula is just not winning over Loomis.
Just let me prove myself to you.
I'm sorry, I seem to have wasted your time.
And he leaves in a huff. But Daddy, I want my undead killer to study now! And we cut back to Michael, still getting his off-season kill reps in. You can't allow yourself to get rusty at this. But it's revealed that Dr. Acula was well-connected.
Like your present, Michael. I told the board that it was vital for your treatment.
Oh, and permission to grow his sick mustache.
Unlike Dr. Loomis, I'm a very patient man. And if you work with me, I will give you what you want.
And even Michael knows a good contract offer when he hears one.
Well, guys, we have an update. Michael Myers is in the building. He's backstage getting himself a cup of coffee.
Oh, what's the matter, Michael? You don't enjoy a hot cup of coffee? I left the coffee black for you. That's the darkest coffee. The devil's coffee. Our next film is Severed, a Halloween fan film from 2002 from Dark Current Cinema, featuring a lot of driving happening in a post-9/11 world. Our main character pulls into a hotel and passes out immediately. He's just so tired. And he just has to be the most charismatic guy in the world. Why else would Michael be so interested in stalking this guy? You know, you'd think that Haddonfield would have better things for Michael to be up to. So, Senor Buzzcut has nothing better to do than eat Funyuns and watch news recaps of Halloween 6.
Serial killer Michael Myers returned in '95.
A fellow hotel guest knocks on his door and alerts him that his car was broken into.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry to trouble you. I believe your Honda's been broken into.
But nothing appears to have been taken from this car. And now Buzzcut Lightyear slowly enters back into the hotel room. And all this was a big old trap. This guy was armed and ready. Man, if Dr. Loomis and Laurie Strode knew how easy it was to actually kill Michael Myers, they would have saved themselves a lot of time and effort. And with Michael dead, he's easy to toss into a bathtub. Well, this guy is just the ultimate badass. It looks like he also took out Jason and Freddy at one point. So that film star thought he was really cool by collecting masks as trophies. Well, I've also taken some masks as trophies. We have, the Red Ranger. Not quite sure why I took him out. He actually was doing good. Oh well, score one for Rita. I also defeated the Scream Killer. The Scott Foley version.
Stop! Don't want to hear it!
And, I saw this little bastard trying to go after a cat, so I had to kill him too.